Beast mode, I'm in beast mode. Gunning for the top, cock back, reload. I'm a new man with a new attitude, but don't get me wrong, I'm still me though. I'm all in now, I ain't bluffing. I risk everything, regret nothing. My determination's disgusting, so every day my ass I'm busting.
Yo, what's going down, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we have the first episode of my online ranked around the league type of series where we're going to be trying to win an online game with every single team in NBA 2K13. Now I'm going to go over this series for like a minute or two, and then I'm going to get into what I want to talk about in this commentary. So, as I said, I'm going to try and win an online game with every team in the NBA. I think I'm gonna go in reverse order. So I'm starting out with the Washington Wizards, then I have the Golden State Warriors, then I think like the Minnesota Timberwolves or something like that. Not 100% sure, but I think I'm gonna be going in reverse order because a lot of people like to go in like regular order, but that's boring. Got to be unique, you know. I don't know, but. So what I'm going to be talking about in these videos is I'm going to be talking about what I think of the team that I'm using. So in this case, I'm using the Washington Wizards, and my opponent is using the Memphis Grizzlies. Now it did take me 2 attempts, this being the second attempt, to win with the Washington Wizards online when I was going for this. The first game was against the New York Knicks, where I believe I lost by like 5 or 10 points. So, you know, I'm not trying to prove that I'm great at this game or anything. I think this is going to be an interesting series, and I like to give my opinion on the team that I'm using. So I'll talk about the Washington Wizards for a sec. The Wizards, I have mixed opinions on. I think that, you know, the Washington Wizards have a couple really nice young guys. I think John Wall's going to be a superstar in this league for a long time. He's very similar to Rajon Rondo. He's not as good of a passer, but he's a much better scorer. He has much better touch around the rim. He's definitely more athletic than Rajon Rondo. But they both have their trouble shooting. I think John Wall is a bit better of a mid-range jump shot than, you know, Rajon Rondo. I think that you can honestly compare John Wall more to a Tyreke Evans than you could to a Rajon Rondo. Actually, I think would be a much better comparison. Both athletic, you know, guard types. Tyreke Evans a little bit bigger. He's kind of transitioned to playing the shooting guard position since he was drafted out of Kentucky. But I also really like Bradley Beal on this team. I think Bradley Beal is a stud. I think he's gonna be a great shooter in this league, a great scorer in this league. I think he's a great passer. I remember watching some off-season videos about him, and you know, they were talking about how hard he was working at becoming a better point guard, because he is only 6'3", and you know, it's funny because he's shorter than John Wall actually, but anyway, he's only 6'3", and he's gonna have to probably play some point guard in this league at some point. You know, I've never been in favor of guys moving around the positions just because they're undersized or oversized or anything like that. I'm always in favor of a guy like Bradley Beal staying at the 2, but in his case, you know, he's really worked hard at handling the ball better and making smart passes. And I think he's the type of guy who could average, you know, 13 points per game this year and maybe 3 or 4 assists. And I think he could develop into a nice defender too. I think he's going to be a really solid player on this team. Now, the Washington Wizards have also made a few trades in the last year or two. Obviously, they had a big trade deadline last year, getting rid of Nick Young and JaVale McGee. And the Nick Young trade, they didn't get really anything too major back from the Los Angeles Clippers. I know they got Brian Cook, who is no longer on the team. I think they might have got like a second-round draft pick too. But, you know, the point of that trade was just getting Nick Young off their team. He's just I don't know. I mean, he was doing well for them, but he was checking up shots. And he was just, you know, it was time for him to go. And, you know, they wanted to change the culture and the mentality around the Washington Wizards. Because, you know, you can't have a young star like John Wall being surrounded by guys like Nick Young and JaVale McGee. And the JaVale McGee trade was interesting because I think JaVale McGee has a lot more of an upside than Nene, or Nene, however you want to pronounce it. His real name's Rodney Hilario, but anyway, or Hilario. Anyway, so, you know, but Nene signed a 4-year, $40-something million deal before last season, and basically what the Washington Wizards said is, no one wants to come to Washington, you know, we can't sign any free agents because no one wants to, you know, play with us, so we're just going to trade for free agents, basically. I mean, that's honestly what they said by doing that deal. Now, like I said, JaVale McGee has a bigger upside, but he definitely, you know, wasn't getting the proper coaching and the proper development in Washington. I personally think JaVale McGee is going to thrive in Denver. He's going to have a breakout year this year. But, you know, I'll talk more about him, obviously, when I get to the Denver Nuggets in this series. But anyway, I personally think that JaVale McGee is going to thrive in Denver. And I think that Nene is going to have, you know, solid couple of years here with Washington. I don't know if they think about trading him maybe in the long term. But I think Nene is going to be a good influence around John Wall. I also think that trading Rashard Lewis for Trevor Ariza and Emeka Okafor was good and bad. I think the point of that trade was, once again, to put some more veterans around John Wall. You know, they've kind of given up on you know, trying to do the Oklahoma City formula and you know, develop through the draft, rebuild through the draft, because they had a lot of misses. You know, Jordan Crawford, really, it wasn't working out. He chucks up terrible shots and just honestly not that good of a player. You know, JaVale McGee has promise, but he's been a bit of a miss, and you know, they just decided, you know, let's try this a different way. So they have 2 terrible contracts in Emeka Okafor and Trevor Ariza, but I do believe that, I think Ariza might have 2 years left. I think Okafor's a free agent after this year. I'm not 100% sure. I might have them mixed up, actually, but I honestly don't understand why they didn't just amnesty Rashard Lewis and, you know, try to sign some veterans instead of trading for ones with terrible contracts. I think that was a bit of a stupid trade on the part of the front office of the Washington Wizards, but anyway, it's their personal decision. They're obviously more, you know, experienced with that kind of thing than I am, but anyway, this commentary is pretty much wrapping up, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of, you know, series idea. I like talking about the NBA teams, and I believe the next video is going to be the Golden State Warriors, which is one of my favorite teams in the NBA, so I'm excited to talk about them. And as for the Wizards predictions this year, or for my predictions for the Wizards this year, I think 30, 31 wins, something around there. I don't see them getting much more than that. I can see them getting a lot less than that. John Wall's going to be out like the first 4 weeks of the season, so that sucks for them. They're going to definitely miss him. And you can see my opponent rage quits here, which is pretty stupid because he didn't get his VC that he should have gotten. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this video, and I'm going to leave you guys with the game stats. You can see I pretty much beat him in most of the categories except for steals, blocks, and turnovers and stuff like that. And the stats there, Nene had a good game, John Wall had a good game, and you can see my opponent's stats for the Memphis Grizzlies. But anyway, that's going to wrap this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Those I'm out. Peace.